Welcome back to the Isolation Podcast, where it's one man with one focus, and that's all buckets. Okay, for this episode, we're talking about Michael Porter Jr. One of my favorite players in the league, actually, currently. He's not a guy that has had many opportunities to showcase his abilities yet, but we can definitely expect him to be able to do that next season, moving on. As long as he stays healthy. That's the biggest part for him, staying healthy. That's like his. If I had to list his weaknesses, that would be at the top of the list. Staying healthy, just because he's so young, and most of the time when we hear about him, we just we've heard about him being injured because he sat out his rookie season with a back injury, sat out vast majority of his freshman year in college, and so now we're just finally being able to see how he plays outside of the high school level, really. But while he was in high school, he was good enough to draw comparisons to become like the next Kevin Durant, 6'10" combo forward that can put the ball on the ground. Although I will say that his ball handling ability does need, some tuning up. Once he does that, he'll be able to attack the rim a lot better. That's another area that he can improve on. But by any means, he doesn't attack the basket like a scrub or anything, you know what I mean? And he doesn't dribble like a scrub. But if he were to tune those up and get them even better, he could be closer to becoming unstoppable, I should say, on the offensive end, because his shot, it's almost unstoppable. As long as he can get it up quick, he has a high enough release for it to be deemed as unstoppable. You know what I mean? Just because, like I said, he's 6'10". I think he has like a 9-foot standing reach, and his release is very high above his head to where, if you're not a Kevin Durant or a forward that can, that is athletic enough to get up there as quick as him, then you're going to have a lot of difficulty, guarding his shot, pretty much. And then you add in his ability to attack the rim, and you add in his ability to rebound as well as he does. He's very gifted offensively, and on the defensive end, as long as he just stays motivated, then he could definitely be something like he could be a real threat on the defensive end as well. Because the thing about being motivated on defense, a lot of that motivation comes from how well you're doing on offense. How well you're doing as far as shooting the ball. Like, if a lot of times, when hoopers make a shot, they're more than motivated to get back on the defensive end and lock up their guy. You know what I mean? They miss a shot, they might be in their head or something like that, just depending on, that person's confidence. But a lot of times the motivation comes from, the offensive end for the defensive end. You know what I'm saying? So as long as he can stay, in the game and keep his rhythm and whatnot, then he can definitely keep that motivation for the defensive end, because he'll definitely be busting on the offensive end. He shot at a 50% clip, only playing 14 minutes a game, which I don't really want to. I try my best not to get into stats, not to mention stats and whatnot, but for him to be 6'10", for a third of his shot attempts to be threes, and for him to shoot 50% when he barely has time on the floor to catch a rhythm and whatnot. It's very impressive if you think about it. And as the season progressed this season, he was able to really crack in in the lineup and, not be a third string, be a second string. And he showed so much promise throughout the season that the Nuggets were comfortable enough to trade Malik Beasley, which opened up, more opportunity for Michael Porter Jr. because, the Denver Nuggets lineup is so stacked. They have, like, you have to really go into their third string, you know what I mean, before you can think like, okay, this is where it ends, you know what I mean? They have a full first string, a full second string of guys that can really contribute. I almost said contribute, really contribute to the team and whatnot. So it's very hard for a lot of players to go to the Nuggets and crack their lineup because they're very set. Everyone's very familiar with the plays, with the system. And so it's hard to come in, be a new guy, get acclimated, and crack that lineup. You know what I'm saying? So kudos to Michael Porter Jr. for being able to do that, being able to, continue to just showcase, his abilities with as much time as he's given and whatnot. And, like I said, we can expect to see a lot more from him. We can expect him to be a potential all-star within the next few years, pending health, of course, but just know that's probably going to come. Make sure you guys continue to check out Hoop Fanatic content. Follow Hoop Fanatic Pod on Instagram, Twitter. You can like our page on Facebook, just Hoop Fanatic. And make sure you also stay tuned for some more Isolation Podcast content.